Hi everybody, I'm Claire and this is my vlog, Loves Red Sews. So welcome back if you are an existing subscriber and welcome if you are new. So today's vlog, I am recording this on Saturday. Today is the 21st of June, so it is summer solstice and it's very warm in the UK today. So we are currently having a little bit of a heat wave and today is actually the hottest day. So if I look like I'm quite warm, I apologise. I've actually turned my fans off while I record, so I've got a couple of fans going. We've got all of our doors and windows open everywhere, but I have turned them off for this vlog so it's not too noisy. So I will try and keep this to a minimum as much as I can. I do have a little bit to share with you today, so hopefully that all goes okay. Before I start, I will just share what I'm wearing. As it's warm, I have put on a nice loose floaty dress. This is the Rhea Dress by Tammy Handmade, and this is made in a viscose linen called Wildest Dreams, and it was from Sister Mintaka, and it's just a really nice kind of loose floaty dress. So I've kind of put that on so it's nice and airy really, to try and keep me cool. So yeah, what have I been up to this week? So as you probably saw last week, I was away for the weekend and I didn't really get any sewing done last weekend. So this week I did join a sewing social this week. Didn't have anything in particular to sew up, and I wasn't really sure even if I was going to start sewing, but I did have a couple of t-shirts cut out that I'd kind of cut out before I went away, and I thought actually just to keep it simple, I don't really have to think too hard, I decided to sew those up on the social this week. So they are the Mix It Up tee. So the Mix It Up tee is a pattern that Sarah from my handmade wardrobe has designed, and this is part of the challenge and group that she has set up called the Weekend Sewing Club. So you do actually have to be a member of that, and the t-shirt was the first pattern. I believe that is still available in the portal. So if you want to join in, I will link the details below, but I am a part of this group and I will be getting involved on a monthly basis, and the premise is that you will sew up, well, she will release a pattern every month and then you get the month to make it up. The patterns will be fairly simple, and there'll be a few sort of options to kind of hack and things like that, but the whole idea, the Weekend Sewing Club, is kind of aimed at people that don't have an awful lot of time to sew for whatever reason. So this will give you the opportunity to sort of make up a nice garment, and they would generally take sort of 2 to 3 hours or so to make, so fairly simple. But the t-shirt was the first pattern and it was kind of like a taster for the subscription. So it's a monthly subscription, it's £15 a month, and with that you get a pattern, there's a monthly sew along, and then there is lots of information, lots of tutorials and stuff that Sarah is also releasing as part of that. So and obviously there'll be a whole community, so it's a really good sort of group to join. If you haven't already, then I would highly recommend. Their first official pattern coming out this month from July onwards will be a sun dress. So it's a fairly simple dress and it has a button placket down it, but the buttons will be faux. So they're just for show, and it looks like a really nice pattern, so I'm looking forward to making that up. So what have I been sewing this week? So yeah, as I said, I didn't get an awful lot of time to sew, so I made a couple of t-shirts that I had already cut out. So these are all already finished, but I just need to hem them, so I haven't quite finished them. So the first one is this one, and again I just use fabrics from my stash. So I had this black modal jersey in my stash from Rainbow Fabrics, and I thought it paired well with this cotton jersey, and then I found this ribbon in my stash which matched in with the purples in here, and I thought it all looked quite nice. Again, another animal print. I seem to be on a bit of an animal print mission at the moment, but I am going to try and veer away from that a little bit, because I'm aware I've been making quite a lot of animal print stuff at the moment. So that is the first t-shirt that I've got made up, and then the second one, again, I am using the black modal jersey, and this time I wanted to try a woven option with it. So I had a remnant of this woven fabric. It's a very lightweight kind of cotton, and again an animal print, but all these sort of bright colours, and I've just put a black ribbon with that, and again that hasn't been hemmed yet, so I just need to do that, but I thought that was nice and sort of colourful across the top. So and it's worked out really well actually, so I'm quite pleased with how both of those have come out. So I just need to get those hemmed. I shall probably do that today. And then I was looking for something this week. I've got a couple of, I've got like a drawer and like one of these Kallax boxes which have some whips in things that I have previously cut out and then kind of come to the end of that particular season, and I tucked them away. So I do sometimes dip into those boxes, not often. I probably should make a little bit more of an effort to get some of those things made up. I've got a couple of whips that I know if I made them up they wouldn't fit me now anyway, so they're kind of tucked away for when, you know, the time is right for those, or possibly to be turned into something else. But I was looking for something in particular, and I actually came across something that I'd cut out, might have been a year or two ago, and it's this pattern, the Blomma tank by Paradise Patterns. So I've never made it up before, but I have seen a couple of people make this recently, and I realised I had this already cut out ready to go, and I thought, you know what, I just want to whip that one up, excuse the pun. But I thought with this warm weather that we're having, this would actually be really good for this time of year. And I knew a sort of a little tank top wouldn't take very long to make up, so I decided to make that up this week. So I had already cut this out in a size E. I think their sizing goes by letters, so it's from A to L, but it goes from a bust of 30 up to a bust of 58, so it's very size inclusive. And then you've also got different cup sizes on this, so you do have the option for a B cup and a D cup. So this is the this one here is the B cup, and then the D cup option has bust darts on it. So I had actually cut out the D cup, which is quite good. So I made that up this week, and this is the finished result. So it's actually a really nice sort of pattern. I don't always tend to wear sort of quite tight fitting clothes, but I thought, well, you know, even if it doesn't work out, it'll be nice just to kind of whiz it up and see what it looks like. I will pop in a picture up here of me wearing it, but I was pleasantly surprised actually for a tight fitting top. I don't think it looked too bad. I didn't feel too sort of bad in it, and I think the coverage is actually quite good. So it's a little bit more of a higher neck, so it kind of comes up here a bit, covers your chest, so that's quite good on a hot sunny day where you may don't want to get burnt here. It gives you a nice bit of coverage, but it's also quite good at covering the bra straps. I know on the back of it, for some reason, one of my bra straps was sort of poking out a little bit, but it might just be the way that I was wearing it at the time of the photos. I can't remember where I got this fabric from. It is a cotton jersey. I have made a hug hoodie in this before, so this was a remnant. So it's great for using up small amounts of fabric. So yeah, I'm really quite pleased with that. And as a result, I've actually cut another one out this morning. which I will share in a moment because it kind of forms part of something that came into my sewing room this week. So they are really the only things that I've made up this week, 2 t-shirts and a tank top. So quite simple makes, nothing too taxing, but they were just, you know, they were nice, easy, quick little wins really. And if you been following me for a while, you know I do like a t-shirt. I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of girl. But I am getting to the point where I kind of want to do something a little bit more than just t-shirts and things like that. I feel like I haven't really sewn a dress for a while. So yeah, there's a few other things in my plans which I will come to shortly. What has come into my sewing room this week? Well, I've had 2 very exciting deliveries. So 2 of my lovely sewing friends, Sam, So Let's Sparkle with Sam, and Mandy from Make It Sew, both contacted me because they had received their bias binding from the Specky Seamstress. So they both get the monthly subscription. And as soon as they received their bias binding this month, they said to me that they automatically knew as soon as they saw it that it would be something that I would love. And so they both contacted me and asked me if I if I didn't mind, they would send me their bias binding. So the binding that I received is this. So if you are if you've been following me for a while, you know that I absolutely love pandas. As you can see, I've got sort of lots of pandas dotted around my room. And yeah, as soon as they saw this, they thought straight away of me, which was really lovely. I got a lovely little note from both of them, and I've got 2 lots of bias binding. So I'm definitely keen to get this put into a garment, or a couple of garments. I think both of these have about 2 meters on. In fact, a couple of people who, other people that have received this also mentioned me as well and said that this reminded them of me. So that was really nice. So obviously my love of pandas is becoming quite well known, I believe. So yeah, thank you ladies. I was really, really pleased to receive that, and you know, just that someone's thought of me and wanted to send me that as a gift is just lovely. So isn't the sewing community wonderful? So that was really nice. And then the other thing that's come into my sewing room this week, I picked up a couple of jersey fabrics from a destash account. So this is the destash for Palestine. It's an account that's been running for quite a while, and the idea is anybody who has fabrics or patterns, or even things like yarn that they want to destash, if you do it through that account and then let them know how much of the money from the sales that you want to donate, it all goes to a really worthy cause. So I saw a couple of posts pop up the other day where there was a new drop of fabrics from different people, and there was one particular post that caught my eye, and she was selling 2 jersey fabrics, and she had them listed separately, and I liked them both, so I commented and said could I purchase them both, which I did. And they actually came into they actually arrived yesterday, so it came into my sewing room yesterday. And the first one is this one. So it's a really brightly coloured sort of jersey. It almost looks like it's quite clever. It almost looks like it has gold bits on it, these bits, but I think it's the way of the design. If I try and bring it in a little bit closer, I don't know if my phone will focus, but it's completely flat. There's no kind of gold sparkly sort of fabric in that, but I think it's just a clever design that it's made to look like that. I've got 1 meter of this, and I think it's about 150 wide, so it's quite wide. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to make with it yet. I kind of want to steer away from the Naya a little bit. I know I've made quite a lot of those, and I wouldn't mind having a think about something different to make with that. So I'm going to have a little think about what to make with that one. And then the other one I got, also a jersey, is this one. and it is these lovely lemons and this beautiful sort of colour, the blue and the yellow. They're all my colours, and this is by Grisalia fabric, which sadly they don't actually have a UK online shop anymore. They closed that down. I believe it might just be in Europe, maybe Germany or something like that, so that's a little bit of a shame. So when I saw this fabric pop up, I thought that would be perfect. As I said, lovely colours, and also with So Fruity this month, I thought it might be nice to kind of whip up something with that fabric for So Fruity. So with that in mind, I have actually cut out another one of these Blomma tanks this morning, and I've cut it out in obviously the lemon fabric, and I think that would just be really fun as a little tank top. So yeah, I don't think that will take me long to make up, so I will probably whip that one up today, possibly tomorrow. I have got a little bit of sewing time today. I did have my sewing social planned today, but unfortunately it got cancelled, and so I've got a little bit of time back today. So yeah, we've been out early this morning because it's so hot. We took Ralphie out for a walk this morning. He is struggling a little bit in this heat, but we're trying to keep the house and this room as cool as possible, and we've got a little cooling mat down here for him to lay on if he gets too warm, and he's obviously got his bed, but I've just got a single like sheet out to put that over him. He's listening to me at the moment because he does like to be under a cover, but being under a duvet is far too warm for him at the moment, so just a single sheet is working quite well. And then I've got a couple of fans on in this room, which is kind of circulating some air and keeping it a little bit cooler for him. So what are my next plans? So as I just mentioned, I've got the Blomma tank cut out, so I think I'm going to try and get that sewn up. I'm going to get my 2 t-shirts hemmed and get those finished. So that will be 3 items that I think I will probably get done maybe today. They'll be fairly quick to come together. And then, as I mentioned, I wanted to sort of do something else that is not t-shirts really. I feel like I've done quite a lot of sort of jerseys and t-shirt things recently, so I've got one thing cut out. I've got 2 other things planned, actually 2 things cut out. So I have actually got, bear with me a second, I have actually got my So Fruity make cut out, and I have actually got my So Fruity make cut out, and that is partially made up. And I am making another Anthea blouse, and I'm making it in this fabric from Fabric Godmother, and I think this would be really nice for sort of summer. It's a nice lightweight viscose linen, and obviously the strawberry print for So Fruity. So I do need to get that made up, ready for the end of the month, so that is definitely on my list. And then I sort of dug out some of my shorts this week, and I have been wearing a few different pairs, and I had previously made a pair of Pietra pants last year in a tomato print, which I will pop a picture in of here, and I really would like to get another pair made up. I do have some fabric in my stash that I bought specifically for the Pietra pants. So these are the Pietra pants. You can make them trousers which are tapered or slightly wider leg, and then the shorts. So I'd obviously made the shorts, but I have some more stretch denim in my stash, which is this, and it's a Fabric Godmother. It's got a dark green base and then all these bright colours. So I think some nice plain sort of t-shirts or tank tops would go really nicely with that and some of these colours. And I have cut that out this week, so they are sort of ready to go, so they'll be sewn up fairly quickly, I think. And yeah, I don't think they'll take too long to come together. And then I have got a couple of other things planned that I want to make. So I have previously made the nail dress. I've never made the blouse, but I don't want to make the blouse with the peplum. I just want to make the straight blouse but with the puff sleeves. So I'll just bring it in a little bit closer, so it would be kind of like that top part of the dress, but you know, just kind of blouse length, no gathering or anything there, or just be straight. And I've got a fabric that's very similar to this actually. I bought this recently from Jenny Stitches, and I saw Jenny had actually made the now blouse in this fabric. It's a cotton seersucker, so it's nice and lightweight, and she had done the puff sleeves in it and it just looked beautiful. So I'm gonna recreate the same blouse because it just looks so nice on her, so I'm hoping it looks just as nice on me. So I still need to get that one cut out, but I may do that. If I don't get that done this weekend, it will be sort of over the next few days, or possibly one evening this week. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to make another one of these dresses. So I've made one of these in a red sort of viscose. I will pop a picture of it in here. It's one of my most favourite dresses, and I've been wanting to make another one of these for a while. I did talk about this particular fabric on a recent vlog, and originally the fabric that I'm planning for this, I was thinking I would make into a dress that didn't have too many seam lines. However, I have seen somebody make up this fabric into a dress, might be in the Lyra dress, something like that. And in fact, I thought it looked really good with all the seam lines. I know this dress has quite a lot of seam lines. You've got this kind of gathering across here, and then you also have this kind of shape in here. But I really love the style of this dress, and I just thought this fabric would just look great in this. So it is this fabric from Rainbow Fabrics, and it's the Bowden dead stock cotton, and I just think that would look lovely as that dress. So I've decided I'm actually going to make that dress with it. So the dress is already, the pattern's already sort of cut out and ready to go because I have previously made it, so it's just a case of cutting it out of the fabric. I may need to have a look at the zip situation. It has an invisible zip at the back, and the only zips I've got in my stash are these. This one is not an invisible zip, and it is nowhere near long enough, but it is actually the right colour for the fabric. So I may end up going out and trying to get a zip to match it. Otherwise I've got a blue or a black zip. So I mean, even that blue one may possibly go because there's that same blue in there. So yeah, I have to have a think about the right zip for that. But yeah, I'm quite keen to get that made up because I'd love to make another one of those dresses. So yeah, I've got quite a few obviously plans on the go. A couple of things already cut out, as I said, the shorts and the tank top. I've got my fruity make already in progress, so I've got that to go, and then two things that I want to cut out and get sewn up as well. So lots of plans, and yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of those plans, and if you've got any other thoughts, if you just want to say hi. I love hearing from people, and you know, having a little chat in the comments is really nice. And yeah, so I think I'm going to leave that here. It's starting to warm up a little bit, so I'm going to sign off, turn my fans back on, and try and keep this room cool for Ralphie and myself, and I shall be back with you again next week. So you'll probably see this vlog coming out on a different day than normal. So normally my vlogs release on a Sunday, but I think you will probably see this today, Saturday, and that is because I am also doing the So Fruity vlog, and that is scheduled to come out on Sunday. So rather than have two vlogs come out on the same day, I think I will kind of split these up, and you'll see this one Saturday and So Fruity tomorrow. So I hope that's okay with everybody. I shall be back with you again next week. So I hope you have a good week and you get some good sewing in, and I shall catch up with you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.